The night, a time for rest, a time for dreams, a sanctuary where the mind can wander freely, exploring the depths of our subconscious. But for some, the night is not a refuge. It becomes a realm of fear and helplessness. But for some, it becomes a waking nightmare, a place where the boundaries between reality and imagination blur, and the comfort of sleep is replaced by sheer terror. Sleep paralysis, a terrifying condition. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night, your mind fully conscious but your body remains frozen, unresponsive to your desperate commands to move. The mind awake, the body asleep. You are trapped in a state of limbo, caught between the realms of wakefulness and slumber. Your eyes scan the room, but your body remains paralyzed, trapped, unable to move, unable to speak. The silence of the night amplifies your fear, and you feel utterly alone, imprisoned within your own body, a feeling of dread, of impending doom. Your heart races and your breath quickens. You sense an ominous presence lurking in the shadows, watching you with malevolent intent. Science offers explanations, a glitch in the sleep cycle. Researchers have studied this phenomenon extensively, attributing it to a disruption in the transition between different stages of sleep. The brain stuck between wakefulness and sleep. It is as if the mind awakens before the body, leaving you in a state of paralysis, unable to break free from the grip of your own physiology. But it doesn't explain the terror, the feeling of a presence in the room, the overwhelming sense that you are not alone, that something sinister is watching you, waiting to strike. A malevolent entity, watching, waiting. The shadows seem to come alive, and you feel an icy chill run down your spine as you struggle to comprehend what is happening. Sleep paralysis is a physiological phenomenon, a miscommunication between the brain and the body, yet the experience is so vivid, so real, that it defies logical explanation, but it feels like something more, an ancient evil, preying on the vulnerable, whispering in the dark. It is a haunting reminder of the thin veil that separates our world from the unknown and the mysteries that lie beyond the reach of science. It began subtly. A whisper of unease that crept into my mind, like a shadow slipping through the cracks of my consciousness. At first I dismissed it as a figment of my imagination, a trick of the light, but the feeling persisted, growing stronger with each passing night, a feeling of being watched. It was as if unseen eyes were always upon me, lurking in the corners of my room, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal themselves. I could feel their gaze, cold and unrelenting, piercing through the darkness. A pressure on my chest. It felt like an invisible weight pressing down on me, making it hard to breathe. My heart would race, pounding against my ribcage as if trying to escape. Each night the sensation grew more intense, more suffocating. I'd wake up in the night, paralyzed, unable to move. My body felt like it was encased in cement, my limbs heavy and unresponsive. I could only lie there, helpless, as the darkness closed in around me. My heart pounded in my ears. The sound was deafening, drowning out all other noise. It was a relentless drumbeat, a constant reminder of my fear. I could feel the blood rushing through my veins, my pulse quickening with every passing second. The room seemed colder, darker. Then I saw it. A shadow, barely visible at first, lurking in the corner of my room. It was an indistinct shape, a blur of darkness that seemed to shift and change with the flickering light. A shadow in the corner of my room. It was there, watching me. I could feel its presence, a malevolent force that sent shivers down my spine. It was as if the darkness itself had come to life, taking on a form of its own. Indistinct at first, but it was there. The more I stared, the clearer it became. It was a figure, tall and menacing, its features obscured by the shadows. I could see its eyes glowing faintly in the darkness, filled with a malevolent intent. I strained to see, to make out its form, but the darkness held its secrets, refusing to reveal the true nature of the shadow. It was a constant, looming presence, always just out of reach, always just beyond my grasp. But the darkness held its secrets. It was an impenetrable veil, hiding the true nature of the shadow. I could only guess at what lay beneath, my mind conjuring up all manner of horrors. Fear washed over me, cold and suffocating. It was a primal fear, a deep-seated terror that gripped my very soul. I could feel the sweat trickling down my face, my body trembling with fear. I tried to scream, but no sound escaped my lips. My throat was dry, my voice caught in my chest. I was trapped in a silent nightmare, unable to call for help, unable to escape. I was trapped, alone with whatever lurked in the shadows. It was a living nightmare, a waking terror that haunted my every moment, and there was no escape, no respite, only the darkness and the shadow that dwelled within it. The visits became more frequent, the shadow more distinct. It took the form of a humanoid figure, tall and emaciated. Its eyes glowed with a malevolent intelligence. I felt its hatred, its amusement at my terror. It would whisper my name, taunting me, threatening me. I felt my sanity slipping. I dreaded sleep, but I couldn't escape it. The exhaustion always took over, and with it the terror would return, stronger each time. Whispers of madness. I tried to tell people about it, my friends, my family. They listened with concern, then with pity. They thought I was imagining things, that I was stressed, needed rest. But I knew the truth. The entity was real. It fed on my fear, grew stronger with each encounter. I was losing my mind, and no one believed me. The line between reality and nightmare blurred. Was I truly awake? Or was this all a terrifying dream? I couldn't tell anymore. Trapped in fear. I became a prisoner in my own home, afraid of the dark, afraid of my own bed, afraid of the sleep that would inevitably come, and with it, the demon. I tried everything, sleeping with the lights on, playing music, nothing worked. The entity always found me. Each night the terror grew, each night I felt a part of myself slipping away. The demon was winning. The demon's grip tightens. One night it felt different. The air crackled with energy. The entity stood over me, its grin wider than ever. It reached out with a clawed hand. "You are mine," it hissed, its voice a raspy whisper, filled with ancient malice. "I will break you." I thrashed against my paralysis. My heart pounded like a drum. I thought it was the end. It felt like my soul was being ripped from my body. Then as quickly as it started, it stopped. The entity vanished, leaving me trembling in the darkness. Scars on the soul. The sleep paralysis demon hasn't returned, but the memory of its presence is etched deeply into my mind, like a scar that refuses to heal. Every night as I lay in bed, I can't help but feel a sense of dread, wondering if tonight will be the night it comes back. Not in the same way. The demon's physical absence doesn't mean its influence has vanished. Instead, it has morphed into something more insidious, a lingering presence that haunts my waking hours and my dreams alike. But the experience left its mark. It's like an invisible tattoo, a constant reminder of the terror that once gripped me. My eyes betray my inner turmoil, reflecting the fear that still resides within. I still see shadows in the corner of my eye. They flicker and dance just out of reach, making me question my own sanity. Are they real, or just figments of my imagination born from the trauma of that night? I still feel a chill down my spine when I wake up in the dead of night. The cold sweat, the racing heart, the paralyzing fear, they all come rushing back, as if the demon is standing right beside me, watching, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. I know the entity is out there, waiting, watching. It may not be visible, but its presence is palpable, a dark cloud that hangs over me, casting a shadow on every aspect of my life. And I know it can return at any moment. The uncertainty is the worst part, never knowing when or if it will come back, but always feeling its potential return looming over me like a dark spectre. The fear never truly goes away, it lingers. It seeps into my thoughts, my actions, my very being. It's a constant companion, whispering in my ear, reminding me of the horrors I've faced and the ones that may still lie ahead. A constant reminder of the night terrors that haunt me still. They invade my dreams, turning them into twisted nightmares that leave me gasping for breath, my heart pounding in my chest. Sleep paralysis is more than just a medical condition. It's a battle between the conscious and the subconscious. A struggle for control that leaves me feeling helpless and vulnerable. It's a glimpse into the abyss, a terrifying void where the boundaries between reality and nightmare blur, leaving me stranded in a world where nothing is certain and everything is possible. A terrifying encounter with the unknown, an experience that shakes the very foundation of my understanding of the world, making me question what is real and what is merely a figment of my imagination. And for those who have experienced it, the world will never look quite the same. The shadows seem darker, the nights longer, and the sense of safety that once existed is forever shattered. The scars on the soul are deep, and they change you in ways you never thought possible.